Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well. Today we're going to be looking at another Floris fragrance. Specifically, we're going to be looking at Floris Elite. If this is the first video of mine that you've seen, I've reviewed a couple of other Floris fragrances. I believe now I've looked at German Street, Neroli Voyage, Number 89, and I will be looking at JF in the future as well. So if you enjoy the video, just be aware that those are out there as well. Just a disclaimer, I'm no expert in fragrances, anything like that. This is just an informal review, my opinions on the brand and this fragrance in particular. So like I've said previously in my other videos, I've looked into the Floris brand quite a bit in my Floris My Experience video, but I will delve into that just a little bit here as well. So Floris is a fragrance house. I'm a big fan of this house at the moment, just for their sense of heritage and their Britishness. I think they're a very unique place in the market and a unique place in London history. So their shop on German Street, number 89, it's been there since 1730. Floris has been in family ownership, I think they're now in their 9th generation. There's something very special about that as a shopping experience as well. So if you do get a chance, I know I've mentioned this before as well, so if you see my other videos, I'll be repeating myself, but if you get the chance, go into that German Street store, number 89, have a look at all those fragrances, because it's very unique. You know, got all these fragrances in these old cabinets. The staff are very helpful, very nice. And the Floris fragrances as a whole, I just think they're very unique, very sort of timeless is the word I'm looking for, very timeless. So, Floris Elite. This fragrance in particular, it came into being, I think it was 1979, let me just check that. Yeah, 1979, but this is based on a lotion that was created by Floris in 1851, I believe it was. So that just goes to show when you've got a brand, a company making the same products since 1730s, you've got this rich catalogue that will just that you can just draw upon. And it goes to show as well just the timelessness of Floris fragrances, that, you know, they can make something back then and it still be applicable to today. So yeah, 1979 it was created, and then I think it's only become more popular in recent years. It's very popular in Italy, so I've read. So what is this fragrance like? So I'll read a little bit from the website and tell you what Floris say it's like, and I'll give my own opinions. So Floris, the website, they describe it as a complex fragrance with enduring appeal and British character that is both fresh and woody. So as I was just saying, and I would agree with that description that's on the website there. It's I'll just show you the bottle quickly. So the bottle's fairly plain, not too inspiring. It's pretty similar to, well, it is similar, exactly the same to all the other Floris fragrances. Just the sticker on the front tends to change, particularly in say German Street, something like that. However, this fragrance is also the most distinctive thing about it is probably the green colour, and I think that I've seen it mentioned in other reviews. That's quite indicative of the overall fragrance profile of this one. It's very green, and I would agree very woody as well. I'll just spray something. I did spray it this morning. So the first thing I'm getting is just the green notes in general. I do really like this fragrance. As I say, I'm no expert in describing fragrances, but, and I've mentioned this in my other videos, I go into the Floris shop and each time I come up with a different fragrance, just because they're so different and so unique. In the dry down, I almost get a sense of a bit like Chanel Antaeus, if you ever smelt that, sort of animalistic, woody, heavier base, and that wooden base. And I'd describe it if I was to, I know I'm drawing on what Floris is saying, a green and woody, but I would sort of describe it as if I was to give you an image, it would be a nice mossy green forest that I'm walking through. In my opinion, the dry down, if you have smelt, I do have a little 10ml of Floris Turnbull and Asser. I think the dry down, in my opinion, is quite similar to that. It's quite animalistic, and I've never seen fragrance described like this, but I describe it as almost horsey. Chanel Antaeus as well, almost like a horsey dry down. And if you ever smelt like a horse's saddle, something like that, it's quite earthy, quite quite woody. So I'll just have a look at what else Floris is saying around this fragrance. So they're describing it as mellow woody notes of patchouli and vetiver, enlivened with a cool citrus twist of bergamot, grapefruit and lemon. This is punctuated in great interplay with the green resinous notes of cedar leaf and spicy juniper berry. Lavender and firm balm with a touch of bay are key to the character of the heart. Mossy notes then play a leading role as the fragrance evolved with amber, musk and a hint of leather in the base round off of this timeless scent. See, I hadn't read that until just now. I sort of skimmed it over earlier, but then just as I was saying, that the sort of leathery note, the mossy note, that is definitely what I'm picking up when I'm smelling that. So the notes, according to Floris, so they're describing it again, green and woody. So your top notes that you can expect in this fragrance will be bergamot, cedar leaf, grapefruit, juniper berry, lemon and petitgrain. And that's quite a lot of top notes for that. I don't think my nose is capable enough to pick all of those up, but I'm definitely get the... There is a lightness to it. I think it's probably the citrusy, the lemony, that's on the very top notes of that. In the heart notes, you can expect bay, fir balm, and lavender. Lavender seems to be quite a common theme in Floris fragrances. I know number 89 is quite lavender heavy, and that's, I think, plays quite an integral role in it being quite a gentlemanly and timeless smelling fragrance. And then in the base notes, so these are the notes that will last the longest throughout the day, the sort of what it will dry down to throughout the day. So you're going to be getting amber, cedarwood, leather, moss, musk, patchouli and vetiver. And the leather and the moss there is what I would generally get out of that as well. So I've only had this fragrance a few weeks. I like this one so much I bought a second one for my dad for Christmas, just because I think it's quite a universal fragrance. I think this fragrance, it will be applicable, I think it could be applicable all throughout the year, possibly more towards the autumn, winter, and I would say it's more of a daytime fragrance. I think it's quite inoffensive that it could be an office fragrance or a special occasion fragrance, but it is possibly just a little bit heavy for my taste for what I would want for the summer. For the summer, I would look for something more like German Street, something light, something floral. While the base notes in this, I'd say just a little bit too heavy. But I do think it would still work. It would still be great in the summer. In terms of famous people who've worn this, the only person I can see or find that has worn this is actually David Bowie, which is maybe quite surprising. It's quite a classic English fragrance, and he's quite a unique, quirky individual. But in terms of that, because of the more recent nature of this fragrance, there's no classics as there were of number 89. You know, you've got David Niven, you've got Ian Fleming. So yeah, I think generally that's all I have to say on this fragrance. It is up there with my favourite Floris fragrances at the moment. As I said, so nice I bought it twice. I got a second one in a 50ml for my dad. He hasn't expressed to me that he likes this one in particular. I just thought it was quite a classic smelling men's fragrance. My dad is, I don't know if he's particularly into that, but I think it's universal enough that I could give this as a present. Let's just say that. Yep, so in the future I'll be looking to do a couple more Floris reviews. I've recently picked up JEF from Floris, and I'm very impressed with that. I was pleasantly surprised by that fragrance. And as I say, if you are interested in Floris, go and visit that shop on German Street. See for yourself which ones you like. I think it's particularly important, videos like this, even if I'm not giving you a very detailed breakdown of each fragrance and the main notes and what I'm picking up. I think because YouTube is a medium of video that you can't smell through the screen, if you're interested in fragrances, the best way to get a picture of what they're going to be like is to watch as many videos and people speaking about them as possible, and basically that's how you'll build up a picture of it. So I hope you enjoyed this review and have a good rest of your day. Just as a footnote, as I know I forgot to put this in the main of the video, looking at the prices of Floris Elite, and whether I think it's worth it. So the prices of 100ml at this size, Floris Elite, will set you back £100. Bearing in mind the year is 2023, it's November, that price in the future may change, probably going up. A 50 milliliter will cost you, let me just check here, £80, and you'll get a 10 milliliter will be £25. And those 10 milliliters, I think I've got one here, let me just check. This is one I had in German Street before, just a little one. They're very good if you can't get to Floris, you can't get to someone who sells Floris, but you are interested in their fragrances. That is sort of enough to last you about a month of daily wear perhaps, and enough to sort of get a very good feeling for the fragrance. So do I think that this price is worth it? I would say yes, because of the history of Floris, the heritage that this brand has, and the class that this fragrance exudes. I think it very much is worth £100. It's an eau de toilette, so it's not as strong as some of Floris's other fragrances, like the eau de parfums. German Street, for example, is an eau de parfum. However, in terms of longevity, I would say these two are probably on a similar vein in terms of the length of time that they last. I'd say around 3, maximum 4 hours. These aren't the longest lasting fragrances, but because they're quite light and citrusy. But I would say, as I said, German Street, it's an eau de parfum, so that's higher concentrate of fragrance, while this is an eau de toilette elite, and both lasting 3 to 4 hours. And yeah, so that's it. Basically, I think the price is worth it, and go check it out. Thank you, bye-bye.